Hey everyone, it's Sammi and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my December plan with me. How weird is it that it's the last month of the year? I know this video is late. November was so freaking busy for me, so I apologize for that. If you have no idea what a bullet journal is or how to use one, in my October plan with me video, at the very end, I explain how to use a bullet journal or how I use my bullet journal. So if you need some information about that, you can check out the end of that video. I know eventually I'll have to make a video just about that, and I will, but for right now, just check out the end of my October plan with me video. I'll link it in the description for you. Before we start, I want to showcase a recreation from last month. I think this recreation is a very good example of taking a theme and using it for another month. I just want you guys to know you can always do this. If you want to send me recreations from this month or any other month, do it on Instagram. Make sure you tag me in the actual photo, not just the caption, otherwise I might miss it. My art Instagram is at maidenofwarfare, and make sure you give it a follow because I post different weekly spreads on there too. I'll pop the Instagram up on the screen and link it in the description if you want to check it out. December's spread is a little different. I couldn't pick a single theme, and you guys recommended so many good themes last month. So originally it was going to be snowflakes, but it turned into just a general winter theme. I really like how it turned out. However, I do want to warn you, I condensed a lot of this month's spread because I am out of pages in my bullet journal. If you guys want to recommend a theme for January, don't forget to comment that below. I always read your comments and I'd love to see what your ideas for the next month should be because I really have no idea what to do for January. And of course, all the products I use will be linked in the description box below. So here's my small little calendar. I decided that this calendar format really works for me, and it saves space compared to a 2-page calendar, which is nice. I love the space of a 2-page calendar, but it's just not practical for me. I don't use it enough. I don't look at it enough besides seeing what dates are in what week. So the doodles I'm doing this month don't really add up. The only consistent thing is the snowflakes. But here I'm drawing a little mountain scene. I don't know, I just felt like it worked. I just did a lot of things that were kind of random and wintry in my opinion, and that just kind of worked together. I was originally gonna do evergreen trees here, but I just felt like it just didn't work and I didn't want to ruin the doodle. I was not feeling very artistic when I made this spread, which is so anti-me and anti this video, but you know what, I think it actually turned out pretty well. I did a very simple theme this month actually. The doodles I am doing this month, in my opinion, aren't that super complicated. I know some people like that because maybe they are new to doodling or they don't want to spend the time to do that. In the future though, I will be trying to challenge myself, but for now this works for me. So here are some of my social media trackers and my monthly to-do and goals. To save space, I tucked my brain dump underneath all of this. It normally has its own page if you don't know or you haven't seen my previous videos. My brain dump is where I put a bunch of my ideas or video ideas or just random stuff that I would need to jot down. I also ended up adding a final schedule in the corner there. My finals for the term are this month. Luckily, I only have 3, but it's nice to make a note where and when they are. So after I'm done doodling here in a second, we are going on to the next page, which is my budget and expense tracker page. And again, because I'm saving space this month, I squished them both together. Normally, if you watch my other videos, you know that they are on their own separate pages. So this was kind of an interesting setup to squish them together. I had to make some categories more general to have a shorter list. And with my expense tracker, I had to make some adjustments and squish some stuff together as well. It's very cramped, I know, and kind of confusing if you don't know what I'm talking about. But you know what? It was a sacrifice that had to be made. It's what happens when I take up too many pages on stuff I don't use in previous months. So for my expense tracker, I ended up splitting it into 2 columns, and it'll make more sense once I put my gray lines in there and make it a little more organized. The 2 columns really helps fit more stuff in, so that's the whole reason I did that. Otherwise, it would normally just be 1 column for all of that stuff. Next up is the habit tracker and mood tracker. If you don't have this in your bullet journal, I 100% recommend doing it this month. They are so fun to do. They're so satisfying to fill out. I don't know what it is. I just love these things. They're my favorite part about the bullet journal, to be honest. I feel like I'm really good at filling it out in the beginning of the month, but as the month goes on, I just get slowly less motivated to actually fill in the bubbles. I might have to start setting up the habit tracker a little differently so I don't get bored. Maybe that's it, because I've been doing it the same way for like a year. Maybe I'm just getting too bored of it. I don't know. It's good to change things up once in a while, I know that. But I might have to find a different way to do this habit tracker thing because I am just not using it as much as I should. So I'm just adding some more doodles here. I decided to add more spots of red to symbolize, I don't know what they are, cranberries? Who knows? That's your interpretation. That's me just not knowing what the heck I'm doing and just adding doodles. And of course adding some snowflakes, because honestly, only consistent thing about this bullet journal theme. And because it's the last month of the year, I decided to do a memories page. Basically, it's just that right now the title, Memories 2017, and later on I will doodle in some of the best memories I've had of 2017. I'll probably end up posting that page on my art Instagram when it's done. And to wrap up the monthly spread before going into the weekly spread, I always have a quote page. And I did decide to go slightly festive on this quote, but I felt like it was a good choice. I am so pleased with how this quote came out. I feel like it just wrapped up this month's theme. I always do a quote, guys. I love having a quote as the transition between the month and the weekly spreads. I think it's so satisfying to look at, and it really just completes the whole look. I decided on this quote just because it really gets me into the holiday mood for some reason. It just really pumps me up with all of this festive energy. And of course, to add some more detail to it, I always do an outline of the theme's color for that month. I don't know if you guys noticed that. It's just something I do. And then of course, you gotta add some little snowflakes, because again, only consistent part about this theme. The snowflakes I doodled here were inspired by Amanda Rachel, although the whole theme wasn't. Those doodles were inspired by her doodles that she did for her whole theme of December. Moving on to the weekly spread. This week is kind of simple, but I think that's okay, especially when I'm busy. I have a very, very busy week for the next 2 weeks, and I think going simple makes everything a little less complicated. I feel like the blue I chose for this theme turned out super light on camera, so I'm so sorry about that. I don't know exactly what happened. I think honestly, I picked up this Tombow dual brush pen from my university store, and I think it's dried out, honest. I don't know what's wrong, but it didn't even feel right when I was using it in the journal, so I apologize for that. So this is basically my weekly spread. I'll be adding some couple more details like a next week tab and adding some snowflakes, of course, because again, only consistent thing about this thing, you gotta have the snowflakes. So that is basically it for the December plan with me, you guys. I cannot believe we're in December. I'm in absolute shock. Again, I apologize for the late video. I hope you still enjoyed it. I hope if you were late to making your bullet journal, I gave you some inspiration. Maybe inspiration for January, because I know in some places it's still snowy in January. You can just take the snow theme, right? I don't know. I'm just snowballing here. Ha, get it? Okay, anyway, sorry, I'll stop. And of course, if you liked this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and comment for next month's theme. Don't forget about that. Okay, you guys, I love you to the end of space and back. Have an awesome month and rest of your year.